Can you just tell us the numbers? How many have a criminal record versus those who are just in the country illegally?
All of them, because they illegally broke our nation's laws, and therefore they are criminals as far as this administration goes. I know the last administration didn't see it that way, so it's a big culture shift in our nation to view someone who breaks our immigration laws as a criminal, but that's exactly what they are. Christian Day Talk.
Thanks, Karoline. Just real quick, you mentioned the inflation executive order the president signed, but egg prices have skyrocketed since President Trump took office. So what specifically is he doing to lower those costs for Americans?
Really glad you brought this up, because there is a lot of reporting out there that is putting the onus on this White House for the increased cost of eggs. I would like to point out to each and every one of you that in 2024, when Joe Biden was in the Oval Office, or upstairs in the residence sleeping, I'm not so sure, egg prices increased 65% in this country. We also have seen the cost of everything, not just eggs. Bacon, groceries, gasoline have increased because of the inflationary policies of the last administration. As far as the egg shortage, what's also contributing to that is that the Biden administration and the Department of Agriculture directed the mass killing of more than 100 million chickens, which has led to a lack of chicken supply in this country, therefore a lack of egg supply, which is leading to the shortage. So I will leave you with this point. This is an example of why it's so incredibly important that the Senate moves swiftly to confirm all of President Trump's nominees, including his nominee for the United States Department of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins, who is already speaking with Kevin Hassett, who's leading the economic team here at the White House, on how we can address the egg shortage in this country. As for costs, I laid out the plethora of ways that President Trump has addressed saving costs for the American people over the past week. He looks forward to continuing to doing that in the days ahead. Thank you guys so much.
One more border question.
Are Medicaid portals down in all 50?
Yes, American excellence is back. What I experienced during Biden administration is actually different from what I'm observing today. Yes, Biden was doing things that everybody was awake, and even the press secretary, the way they used to handle issues is different. Look at how she's responding to questions, not selecting people, to pick up, to respond to pre-prepared questions. What this lady is doing is totally okay. Even CNN watching today, they confirmed that Trump has raised a star. That is what this guy said on CNN. When you look at what Trump has done so far, it is actually in line with what Americans agree on, what they liked, especially immigration. So telling me that, this is just, it is insane. It is important we take an exclusive look into what this lady did. I think I did a video about this press secretary a few hours ago, but there was one part I decided to do in a separate video, not to make it long.
My own coming out story. Like so many in the LGBT community, coming out wasn't an easy thing to do. My family was traditional and conservative. Being gay in my family wasn't something that you mentioned out loud or celebrated. But my family, like many, many other families, grew to accept who I was. They saw that who I loved didn't change who I was as a person. It didn't change the things I liked to do, and it didn't change the goals I had for my life.
We are moving on into something else, not in this same area. Yeah, this is what we experienced during Biden administration. Looking at what is happening today, totally different. That is to tell you the difference between Trump administration and the Biden administration.
I would like to point out to all of you once again have access to the most transparent and accessible president in American history. There has never been a president who communicates with the American people and the American press corps as openly and authentically as the 45th and now 47th president of the United States. This past week, President Trump has held multiple news conferences, gaggled on Air Force One multiple times, and sat down for a two-part interview on Fox News, which aired last week. As Politico summed it up best, Trump is everywhere again. And that's because President Trump has a great story to tell about the legendary American revival that is well underway. And in keeping with this revolutionary media approach that President Trump deployed during the campaign, the Trump White House will speak to all media outlets and personalities, not just the legacy media who are seated in this room. Because according to recent polling from Gallup, Americans' trust in mass media has fallen to a record low. Millions of Americans, especially young people, have turned from traditional television outlets and newspapers to consume their news from podcasts, blogs, social media, and other independent outlets. It's essential to our team that we share President Trump's message everywhere and adapt this White House to the new media landscape in 2025. To do this, I am excited to announce the following changes will be made to this historic James S. Brady briefing room, where Mr. Brady's legacy will endure. This White House believes strongly in the First Amendment, so it's why our team will work diligently to restore the press passes of the 440 journalists whose passes were wrongly revoked by the previous administration. We're also opening up this briefing room to new media voices who produce news-related content and whose outlet is not already represented by one of the seats in this room. We welcome independent journalists, podcasters, social media influencers, and content creators to apply for credentials to cover this White House. And you can apply now on our new website, whitehouse.gov/new media.
Yes, this is what we like to see. The way they made it was like the White House press is just for the mainstream media. Independent people are not allowed. Now, content creators, podcasters, they are allowed in here. Transparency should be there. Bringing in people in different spaces like this is important for transparency. And she is ready to take questions, no matter how difficult. When you look at this, comparing to the Biden administration, totally different. If I drop back into the days of Jen Psaki, she used to cycle back. When you ask a question that triggered her or is a little bit, she would cycle you back to a different person. We saw that and we didn't like that all through. She went, Karen came in. We saw something even worse than what she was doing. She doesn't take card questions. She even select pre-prepared questions. That is what we notice. So you can see the difference here. Here, this lady is ready to tell them how it is. Just one thing I noticed about this issue of drones, that is something the Biden administration hide. We didn't even know anything.
I don't care what nobody says. This mother just took away the Equal Employment Act. I can't, you cannot make this shit up.
Yes, you can, and yes, you did. He did not take away the equal employment laws. He did not take away any of your rights. None. This is all liberal logic. He didn't take away any of this. Only thing he took away is your excuses. Now your excuses are out the door. What are you gonna do? You can either earn a job by merit, or earn a job by resume, earn a job by working hard. Why does that bother you? Y'all love to be put in positions which you didn't earn. And for me, that bothers me. I don't want any job that they put me in place of employment due to my skin color. I don't want it. That doesn't make sense to me. That's not how the world should work. I feel bad for all the white Americans that had to live through anything but the opposite. They work hard too.
And before I turn to questions, I do have news directly from the President of the United States that was just shared with me in the Oval Office. From President Trump directly, an update on the New Jersey drones.
Yes, I'm so excited. I believe you saw that guy. He responded to that first lady in a correct way. That is the truth. There is nothing more I can add to that. Taking a look at the real press secretary that I've seen today for the very first time, Trump is the man. He just reviewed something. I think I did a couple of videos about drones. The truth is out. I'm going to show you what this press secretary said. Before I even go into that, press secretary says the drones seen flying over New Jersey were given the green light by FFA. If you notice, it came out, it was everywhere until people start spreading infos here and there, pertaining to the speculating. Their lives are not safe. The Biden administration could not reveal this information. I don't know for what reason. Tell the public what it is so they can calm down. They wanted people to have tensions everywhere until airports were shut down. It's important we take an exclusive look into what is going on exactly.
And before I turn to questions, I do have news directly from the President of the United States that was just shared with me in the Oval Office. From President Trump directly, an update on the New Jersey drones. After research and study, the drones that were flying over New Jersey in large numbers were authorized to be flown by the FAA for research and various other reasons. Many of these drones were also hobbyists, recreational, and private individuals that enjoy flying drones. In time, it got worse due to curiosity. This was not the enemy.
First, President Trump yesterday said that the EU does not treat the U.S. fairly on trade and that he has some big complaints. Is that true?
Right? And it doesn't mean that we should sit and pretend that it's suddenly okay, that this new presidency is just going to keep on keeping on. That is not the case. And because, final point for me, a year and a half is because...
This is the United States.
You're talking about a man who didn't become the president of the United States because of merit.
This lady is not. I want to end the video by saying this for people who have been following me. You realize at the end of the day, I usually put videos at the end. This is for the algorithm. If you see this, you can skip. You can watch the video to a certain level and stop.
Where awful things have happened. So
over. And sparks move things. And it doesn't matter how much water you have.
Future president and his gag
are a funky in policy.
The city of the Pacific Palisades is burning. And, you know, I flew here last night. I was on a plane. Started getting texts.
So I am evacuating my home.
What we need to do against what we know is right. And these are the results.
Trump is now calling that Gavin Newsom should step down.
This is you getting water to areas that need water because there are fires in 100-mile-an-hour winds.
The situation is beyond control.
For the work that he's been trained his whole life to do.
What do we do?
Right now you're looking history, remember it.
As a country about January.
Yeah, and then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel. I don't know, but it's like, you know, it's sad.
I want to be,
Jim Jordan.
In the 5 tenants of
Palisades Village right here. This is the town center of sorts.
And he did this little dance.
Josh Green, the governor of down in Hawaii, who had some.
And then we watch the news or talk to my friends